Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this clip, this video. At the moment, it's time for Pitarpaksh or Pitrastad. There are lots of mixed messages floating around. People have different thoughts and different knowledge, or they have other heard of different things about Pitarpaksh. But today I'm going to focus on what is the essence and what is the truth, and some underlying very good messages and something very the essence and essential of Pitarpaksh. This is the time to remember our ancestors, our forefathers. So the three messages are: number one, this is the time that has been allocated by our forefathers, by our rishis and munis, specifically for those ancestors. Example, your great parents, your great grandparents, or great great grandparents who are perhaps not liberated, perhaps not free, and therefore this time, 14 days, today we are on the 7th day of this time. There is another 7 days remaining to do good deeds, to do punyas, to do lots of sacrifice, donations, jap, tapasya, etc. in the name of your forefathers and your ancestors, so that those ancestors get liberated. That was the first message. It's for liberation, freedom of, to remember. Main thing is to remember them and do things in their remembrance. So that, and try to just not do, but rather do those punyas, do those good deeds, and try to donate those punyas and good deeds to your forefathers. That's number one. Number two is, it's very important to realize it's a time for holiday. Holiday for who? It's a time of leave. It's a time when most of people who do a lot of rituals, who do a lot of seva, who do a lot of puja, who do a lot of bhakti, who do a lot of bhajan, it's a time for leave for those. Leave in the sense that you can have a break. And while we are having break, we are having leave, our gods can have leave as well. But let me clarify, it's very critical. There's mixed messages at the moment that people follow and people have, and they're not sure what is correct and what is not correct. But let me just clarify that. It is leave for those who have accumulated leave. For example, if you have been doing like how you go to work, you work every day, you work in 1 year and you get 20 days leave. But if you don't work, you can't get leave. If you don't work, you can't have sick leave. If you don't work, you can't have long service leave. So similarly, if you don't do puja every day, if you don't do seva every day, if you don't do jap every day, if you don't do tap every day, if you don't do donations every day, if you don't do good deeds every day, then you can't have a break. So similarly, Pitarpaksh is a time to have leave for those who have perhaps been serving the Lord every day. But if you haven't been serving every day, then you perhaps can't have this leave, unfortunately. So sorry for those who incorrectly interpret this and don't do pujas this time. No, that is not correct. You can have break, but even those who have been doing pujas every day, they in fact do those same deeds, in other words, do those same pujas, do those same donations, do those same japa, but they give away those good deeds, what they get out of those, the blessings that they get, the punyas that they receive, all the good things that they receive out of those, the pleasure that they get out of that, they don't keep it for themselves, they rather donate it and give it away for their ancestors. But if you don't do it, then how are you going to give it to those people? So it's very critical to continue whatever you are doing naturally. But just think of your ancestors. I think that was two things. These things, all this knowledge that I'm sharing is through Matsya Puran, and Matsya Puran is where Lord Vishnu takes the form of fish and gives this knowledge to Manu Maharaj, which is in Matsya Puran. He discusses what are Pitras, what are our ancestors, and how to liberate our ancestors. He talks about those. So those were the two things. Firstly, it is time to give away our good deeds to our ancestors, and secondly, it's a time of leave. Those can take leave who have served the Lord nearly every day or every day. Those who don't serve, they have to. There is no question that they have to continue serving rather than not stop their good deeds. Then thirdly, it's a good time to focus. It's a good time to attain and achieve. In other words, if I give you an example, it's a good time that the Lord will listen to you quickly. Only because if there are thousands of people calling upon the God at one time, if there are thousands of people calling upon the God at one time, or for that instance any God or any person, it's more likely that that person or God will go to only one place, or two places, or three places. They probably not be able to listen to all the thousands who are calling upon that person. So it's difficult if thousands of people are calling upon God at one time for the God to go to everybody at once. It's difficult. But right now, a lot of people, especially those who are confused, especially those who are not strong believers in Bhakti, Shakti and righteous, they perhaps stop the puja, stop the devotion, everything. So therefore, a lot of people don't do good deeds at this time. So those who do it right at this time, they will definitely make sure, the God will make sure, because not many people are calling upon God at this time, they will listen to their prayers right now. So whatever you have, wants you have, wish you have, if you say in front of God during this time for another 7 days, it's more likely that the God will listen to you. Because not many people are disturbing the God at this time. And a good timing to request and ask for your wish, or to request or to say something to God, is early in the morning when most people are asleep, and that's the time the God is free mostly, because not many people are disturbing God at that time or calling upon God. So with this message, I bow my hands, I pay my respect to all our ancestors, to everybody's ancestors. If your parents are alive and your great parents are alive or grandparents, pay your respect to them during this time. There is another 7 days to go. It ends on 1st of October. So well wishes and Pitarpaksh sabhi ko